Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel, thank you. Today is explanation of Martial Universe episode number 34 based on novel. So let's start. Little Martin clapped its claws as its tiny eyes flickered with a tinge of cunningness. It then shifted its gaze into the distance and mocked, "Some bullshit Devil Cliff Empire dares to be so arrogant in front of Grandpa Martin. If they dare to come, Grandpa Martin will make all of them perish." Lin Dong patted Little Flame, which was sitting beside him, and smiled. There appeared to be a tinge of chilliness in his drooping eyes. Initially, Lin Dong still thought that he had to stay low for a while. However, it seems like there was no need now. "Devil Cliff Empire, I hope the men you send will be powerful. Otherwise, this game will not be fun." Lin Dong murmuring voice echoed throughout the mountain peak. No doubt, Lin Dong and Little Martin had massive guts. While the outside world was either worrying or rejoicing over their misfortune, they had already taken the initiative to ambush and wait for the Devil Cliff Empire's elites to arrive. The positions of predator and prey appeared to have swapped inadvertently. The question is who will get the last laugh in this game of prey and predator action. Deep within the mountains, an arduous mountain peak soared into the skies. Mists curled around the mountain peak, making it look somewhat celestial. An unmoving figure sat atop a boulder upon the mountain peak. As a light breeze brushed against the figure, his black hair floated, causing him to appear rather carefree. While the figure silently sat, as if in deep sleep, a snow-white demonic beast flapped its wings as it flew out from the mists. Using the clouds as cover, its scarlet and beastly pupils locked onto the figure. This demonic beast was considered rather powerful in the ancient battlefield. It was known as the human-faced devil hawk. It had a human-like face, but when this face was put together with the rest of its body, it looked extremely weird and frightening. The human-faced devil hawk was extremely powerful. From its aura, one could tell that this demonic beast could match up to a quasi-nirvana stage practitioner like Liu Yuan. It noiselessly flapped its wings like a ghost without form that was impossible to guard against. Even ordinary nirvana stage practitioners would find it rather troublesome. This human-faced devil hawk had clearly been observing the figure below for an awfully long time. After stealthily flying back and forth for a long period of time, it suddenly jerked its wings, raising its speed to the maximum. However, the most terrifying thing was that it did not make the slightest bit of noise while charging at this speed, and even the flow of air was concealed by it. This kind of sneak attack was indeed an extreme headache. The human-faced devil hawk was extremely swift. In a blink of an eye, the demonic beast pierced through the mist, poised to grab the figure's skull with its deadly talons that were sharp enough to tear apart the defense of a nirvana stage practitioner. Its talons flickered with a chilling light, and given how formidable the attack looked, if it were to strike its target, his or her skull would be ripped off. However, just as the sharp talons were about to touch the figure's skull, a black hole suddenly materialized and expanded. Soon after, the human-faced devil hawk's claws were caught in the black hole, raw. This sudden change of events put the human-faced devil hawk in great distress. It urgently flapped its wings with tremendous strength as it tried to escape from the black hole. However, while it flapped its wings, numerous strings of black light suddenly burst out from the black hole. The numerous strings twined around the human-faced devil hawk and forcefully pulled it towards the black hole. Like a giant mouth, the black hole swallowed the demonic beast, leaving not even a single feather behind. A weird sneak attack met an equally weird ending. At this moment, the figure slowly opened his tightly shut eyes, a faint smirk in his eyes. With a flip of his palm, a fist-sized demonic crystal appeared within, vigorous waves of nirvana chi surging inside. The amount of nirvana chi in this crystal is comparable to a few thousand nirvana pills. The figure clenched his hand as the demonic crystal was absorbed by powerful devouring power, transforming into churning nirvana chi that flowed through his body. This intake of nirvana chi was equivalent to a whole day of training. However, it was a pity that this kind of demonic beast was rare even in this deep into the mountains, while given his current strength, it would be a difficult task for him to break into the areas where these nirvana stage demonic beasts gathered in groups. After devouring the demonic crystal, the figure finally stood up and raised his head. This face belonged to Lin Dong, who had ventured deep into the mountains. Another 5 days have passed. Lin Dong stood up and gazed into the distance with a pair of slightly narrowed eyes. In his eyes were an indescribable expression. With Little Martin's guidance over the past 5 days, he had become much more skillful in the using of the devouring ancestral symbol than he was in the past. Additionally, due to his advancement to the Heaven Symbol Master stage, Lin Dong was becoming increasingly proficient in utilizing the tyrannical devouring power. As Lin Dong's mastery of devouring power grew, he became completely aware of how powerful the devouring ancestral symbol was. This object was indeed a truly godly artifact. His fighting capabilities had once again significantly improved compared to 10 days ago. Right now, Lin Dong would not be at a disadvantageous position even against a Nirvana stage practitioner like Chen Mu. As Little Flame took flight, Lin Dong cast an indifferent glance behind him. The bait had been set and was ready for the arriving fishes. Devil Cliff Empire, since you want to capture me, I will first let you have a taste of the price to come. While Lin Dong was changing location, 10 shadows appeared like ghosts on a distant mountain peak far away. The auras of these 10 black shadows were extremely tyrannical. Unexpectedly, the leader of the pack was the sinister-looking Chen Mu. He raised his head and looked forward as his eyes surged with a chilling light. That chap is fleeing again. After Chen Mu finished his sentence, a few laughters broke out behind him. This lad is truly like a stray dog, fleeing in such a diligent manner. Chen Mu slightly furrowed his eyebrows. For some reason, he could sense that something was amiss. Even though the tracking seal was quite hard to erase, Lin Dong should have plenty of time to slowly remove it over this period of time. Instead, Lin Dong did not do this. Could it be Lin Dong did not know that as long as the tracking seal was not removed, he would be unable to get rid of them? Chen Mu, let's increase our speed. We have already wasted a lot of time, a hoarse voice suddenly sounded behind the frowning Chen Mu. Upon hearing this voice, the corners of Chen Mu's eyes slightly twitched for a moment. He tilted his head to look at the skinny man. The man had an ordinary face, but his pupils were inverted triangles like a snake's, and gave off an extremely creepy feeling. Even someone as cold as Chen Mu could not maintain a natural expression in front of this person. In the Devil Cliff Empire, Nirvana stage practitioners possessed relatively high status. Other than first senior and second senior, this man was the undisputed number 3. Even Chen Mu had to lower his head in front of this man. As if he knew that Chen Mu was sizing him up, the man slowly raised his head and extended his hand from his sleeves. His hand was covered with black scales, an extremely strange sight, still not moving. I want to see if Lin Dong is really a 3-headed 6-armed Azura that actually dares to kill someone from the Devil Cliff Empire. The man laughed, showing his sinisterly white teeth. His smile was full of a terrifying viciousness. A slight chill surfaced in Mu Chen's heart. Without tarrying any further, Chen Mu turned around and dashed forth, while everyone else swiftly followed behind. The following day, Chen Mu and his counterparts traveled without any rest. They pushed their speed to the limits as they followed the weak signal and crossed mountain after mountain. Just as the scorching sun slowly began its descent in the western skies, as scarlet light engulfed the vast mountain range, 10 figures finally stopped at a lush woodlands while they cast their gazes to their front. A figure was silently seated there. A light breeze blew past, causing his clothes to float and his black hair drift gently in the wind, not running anymore. Chen Mu's extremely sinister gaze was directed at the figure, his ghastly voice causing a chill to run up one's spine. However, that figure merely smiled in the face of Chen Mu's icy voice as he lazily stretched his body. His eyes were not flickering with the fear that Chen Mu and his counterparts had anticipated. Instead, the figure's eyes contained a mysterious smile. You are really too slow. If this carried on, I might have lost my patience. Upon hearing these words, Chen Mu's eye pupils instantly shrunk. The Devil Cliff Empire is powerful indeed. Lin Dong's eyes narrowed a little, but he did not panic at all. Evidently, he had long anticipated such a situation. Lin Dong, I have already told you, one should know his limits. You are entirely responsible for the predicament that you are in today. Chen Mu's eyes coldly stared at Lin Dong with an unconcealable killing intent churning within them. Surrender the mysterious ancient key, and I will leave you with a whole corpse. No one has ever managed to survive after killing someone from our Devil Cliff Empire. You are no exception. Chen Mu stretched out his palm and declared in an indifferent manner. His words gave no options for Lin Dong to talk himself out of this predicament. Evidently, they were bent on killing Lin Dong. Lin Dong smiled as he gazed at Chen Mu before suddenly asking, So, how many Nirvana pills do you guys have? Nonetheless, it must be said that Lin Dong's question was truly a loaded one. For a while, even Chen Mu was stunned. However, he seemed to understand that the hidden intention behind Lin Dong's words were not friendly. Immediately, his expression turned grim. I am about to attack Nirvana stage, and I require quite a bit of Nirvana pills. Lin Dong gently smiled as he said. Though he did not further elaborate, when he saw Chen Mu and the rest's expressions change, he guessed that they have also understood what he meant. Ha ha, what an interesting kid. However, someone like you is destined to die young. I have 150,000 nirvana pills with me. If you believe that you are capable enough, you can try to take it. The one who spoke this time around was a man standing behind Chen Mu, with triangular pupils. His pupils gently shrunk as he stared at Lin Dong, while a fake smile hung on his smile. This was actually the first time he saw someone trying to target their Devil Cliff Empire. 150,000. You are quite a fat sheep. Lin Dong chuckled. However, when they saw him chuckle, the elite Devil Cliff Empire practitioners immediately shook his head. All of them assumed that fellow had probably gone senile. Chen Mu, take care of the problem that you left behind. The rest of you will guard this area. I do not want to see any unforeseen accidents occur today. That man with triangular pupils glanced at Lin Dong, and it seemed like he was not interested in talking with a mentally unstable person. Immediately, he waved his hand as he casually said, "Yes, Senior Lei Shi." When they heard his words, the other elite Devil Cliff Empire's practitioner instantly responded. Following which, all of them dashed them, before they formed a defensive formation and trapped Lin Dong within. Thanks to their formation, it was very difficult for Lin Dong to escape. Mountain Breaking Seal. A savage knuckle seal viciously slammed against that mental energy barrier in a domineering fashion. Due to that punch, that barrier was directly blown apart. However, the instant his knuckle seal tore apart that mental energy barrier, a cold glint suddenly appeared from below. However, it did not target the fist, but instead, it flew at a peculiar trajectory towards Chen Mu's throat. Snort. When he saw Lin Dong's futile struggle, Chen Mu coldly snorted. Using the back of his palm, his formidable strength solemnly slammed against that cold glint, before he managed to blow it away. Action. When he saw his actions, Lin Dong's eyes narrowed. With a flick of his mind, devouring force gushed out before it directly wrapped around his heavenly crocodile bone spear. In this instance, his originally white bone spear suddenly transformed into an extremely dark color. Bang! Chen Mu's steel-like palms gripped on that enraged bone spear. However, that bone spear did not retreat as he had expected. Instead, a peculiar suction force erupted from that bone spear. Thanks to that suction force, all the yuan power wrapped around his body began to stealthily disappear. This peculiar sight caused Chen Mu's pupils to gently shrink. Instantly, he tried to escape that suction force. As he quickly retreated, "It seems like those 500,000 nirvana pills are wasted on you." When he saw Chen Mu suddenly retreat, Lin Dong laughed heartily. Promptly, a cold glow gushed into his eyes, while a formidable mental energy violently gushed out from his Nirvana palace. Immediately, storm clouds began to gather in the sky, while thunder and lightning cackled amidst the clouds. Chen Mu's expression was grim. When he saw that mysterious phenomenon that was occurring, he knew that Lin Dong was trying to use his mental energy to control the yuan power between heaven and earth. Immediately, he quickly took a step forward, while his footsteps suddenly became peculiar. Evidently, this was a rather powerful martial arts. His footsteps was peculiar. As Chen Mu's body squirmed, he quickly appeared in front of Lin Dong. Following which, his arms were just like blades, as savage yuan power gathered on them. Faintly, an extremely formidable shockwave emerged from it. Extreme giant yuan blade. Chen Mu's eyes were cold as he violently swung his arm. Following which, all the air below his arms was seemingly torn apart, while a several meters wide ditch was directly torn in the lush woodlands beneath. In front of me, you don't even have the time to activate the yuan power between heaven and earth. Get ready to die. Chen Mu grinned. His blade-like arms were extremely quick and vicious. Even Lin Dong could only see a formidable glint flash across his eyes, before that formidable blade wind, which could severely wound a Nirvana stage practitioner, landed on Lin Dong's body. In the sky, lightning and thunder rumbled, before all the lightning bolts quickly gathered together. Instantly, they transformed into a giant lightning palm. However, this lightning was not silver in color, but it was pitch black instead. Faintly, a heart-palpitating sensation emerged, devouring lightning palm. A deep roar sounded out in Lin Dong's heart. Promptly, that black lightning palm suddenly swept forth. Following which, under the bewildered stares from the Devil Cliff Empire's practitioners, it viciously slammed against Chen Mu, who had no time to flee. Instantly, a black lightning glow swept forth in this lush woodlands. Standing nearby, Lei Shi's expression slowly darkened as he stared at that lightning glow. As that lightning halo spread forth, a hideous-looking figure suddenly shot out from within before he tore through the vast woodlands. Along the way, he directly tore a near 100-meter ditch and caused countless large trees to be directly blown away. The figure that shot out finally managed to forcefully stabilize himself. After he stabilized his body gently trembled, before wisps of black smoke arose from his back. In fact, even his aura seemed to have dimmed down. Evidently, he was severely wounded. While his body trembled, a deathly pale color emerged on his face, before he involuntarily vomited out a mouthful of fresh blood. Following which, he was still in shock as he lifted his head. As he stared at that figure wearing a black vest, hovering above the woodlands, it was obvious that he did not expect that Lin Dong's attack was actually this savage. He knew that the latter had advanced to Heavenly Symbol Master. However, even though Heavenly Symbol Masters can control the Yuan power between heaven and earth, they should not be so powerful. Furthermore, the instant he was attacked, he could clearly feel that some of the Yuan power inside his body had mysteriously disappeared, and this undoubtedly caused his existing injuries to worsen. As that widespread lightning glow gradually dissipated, the surrounding elite Devil Cliff Empire practitioners stared at a hideous-looking Chen Mu, before their pupils suddenly shrunk. Promptly, all of them sucked in a breath of cold air. All of them were keenly aware of Chen Mu's strength, and they had never expected him to wound up in such a sorry state. Therefore, when they turned to look at that surrounded young man, their eyes did not have a mocking tinge like before. This time around, if they were not seriously prepared, the outcome may once again exceed their expectations. After both of them glanced at one another, all of them turned to look at that man with triangular pupils. Under the attention from the crowd, that man named Lei Shi shifted his attention, before he turned to look at Lin Dong. Following which, his coarse voice sounded out, "These days, there are many people who pretend to be pigs in order to eat tigers. I can't figure out how a practitioner, who recently advanced to Heavenly Symbol Master, can actually control such a powerful natural force." Lin Dong glanced at him before he casually said, "I am not pretending to be a pig to eat tigers. It is because your Devil Cliff Empire is too arrogant. Even though you guys are powerful, all of you hardly amount to anything compared to the ancient battlefield. In the future, you will encounter other similar incidents. Hence, there is no need to be this surprised." "Ha ha, that I must admit." Lei Shen gently smiled. He was keenly aware that there were many other formidable empires in the ancient battlefield, and some of them were even more powerful than them. In the ancient battlefield, there are many empires and powerful practitioners that our Devil Cliff Empire must be wary of. However, you are not one of them. Lin Dong ignored him as he lazily said, "You should be the next one making a move, right? I wonder how many Nirvana pills you used when you attacked Nirvana stage." The number of Nirvana pills used to attack Nirvana stage only serves as a gauge among practitioners who have yet to pass through any Nirvana tribulations. Unfortunately for you, I have attempted to attack a Nirvana tribulation 2 months ago. When he heard his words, Lin Dong's pupils suddenly shrunk, before he stared right at this man, called Lei Shi. Nirvana tribulation is the most important checkpoint for any Nirvana stage practitioners. Only when one survives a Nirvana tribulation can one add an additional title to his title, 1 Yuan. The difference between 1 Yuan Nirvana stage and ordinary Nirvana stage is hardly insignificant. Nirvana stage has a total of 9 stages. That was to say, each time one survived a Nirvana tribulation, one's strength would surge, and they cannot be spoken in the same breath as those who haven't. Right now, Lin Dong had recently advanced to Heavenly Symbol Master. Furthermore, thanks to his ancestral devouring symbol, he was able to activate the Yuan power between heaven and earth in order to defeat a powerful Nirvana stage practitioner like Chen Mu. However, if he encountered a practitioner who had survived a Nirvana tribulation, he would likely falter action precisely because of this. When Lin Dong heard that Lei Shi had actually touched this Nirvana tribulation, which caused most Nirvana stage practitioners to salivate in fear, his heart was in shock. These Devil Cliff Empire practitioners are truly skilled. After he gently sighed inside his heart, Lin Dong retracted his stare before he turned to Lei Shi and smiled and said, "However, I believe that you should have failed. A Nirvana tribulation was just like a destructive flame for Nirvana stage practitioners. If one successfully survived through it, one would undergo a major metamorphosis, just like one was reborn. However, if one failed to pass through, some lucky ones may still live, while most of them would directly lose their lives. That is the reason why most Nirvana stage practitioners loved and feared the Nirvana tribulation. It was the perfect way for them to strengthen themselves. However, in order to go through with it, one had to risk one's life. Lin Dong was clearly aware just how powerful a Nirvana stage practitioner became after surviving a Nirvana tribulation. Standing in front of him, even though Lei Shi was quite powerful, he still seemed somewhat lacking. Today, you shall have nowhere to run. At a distance away, Lei Shi's finger suddenly pointed at Lin Dong. Promptly, his expression turned grim, before he suddenly took a step forward. Following which, the air beneath suddenly exploded, before his figure disappeared in a peculiar fashion. He is really fast. Lin Dong's pupils gently shrunk. Once Lei Shi made a move, it immediately showcased the difference between him and Chen Mu. In fact, even an endangered sensation arose in Lin Dong's heart. Even though Lei Shi did not successfully survive a Nirvana tribulation, he was still a man who had experienced it once before. Therefore, his strength naturally far exceeds that of any ordinary Nirvana stage practitioner. As his mental energy slowly spread out, in the next instance, Lin Dong's body suddenly sidestepped. Boom! Just as his body sidestepped, a cold and venomous claw suddenly appeared behind his back before it brushed past his shoulder. That claw-like hand vibrated at a high frequency while it held an alarming killing force. A heavenly symbol master indeed. After his attack failed, standing behind Lin Dong, Lei Shi gently smiled. Promptly, he jerked his arm before his arm actually began to grow in a peculiar fashion. Following which, he waved his arm, before he solidly slammed his arm against Lin Dong's chest. I am curious to see how many attacks your black vest can withstand. Regardless of what tricks you have, the outcome will not change. Lei Shi grinned venomously. Promptly, his body suddenly shot out, before an alarming shockwave swiveled around his body. Lin Dong glanced at a rapidly approaching Lei Shi, before he looked at that formation that was trapping him. Following which, a cold grin emerged on his face, before he softly said, "That may not be true. It is time to collect the net that they have laid down." As the net of light spread, two figures crisscrossed at lightning-like speed above the lush woodlands. Terrifying energy waves erupted, causing a verdant tide sweep across the sea of green below. In the end, the tide was stopped by the descending light net. Action clearly, this formation was reasonably strong. Hence, no matter how fierce the battle between these two figures was, the area beyond the glowing net remained as calm as still water. Chen Mu spitefully looked at the figure within the glowing net. Lin Dong's performance had certainly exceeded his expectations. However, no matter how much the latter struggled today, the end result would not change at all. Even Nirvana stage practitioners could not escape from this formation. Furthermore, with the addition of Lei Shi in this battle, even if Lin Dong was stronger, he would be hard-pressed to escape his demise. Let me see how you can get out of this today. Boom. As Chen Mu gnashed his teeth, the two figures suddenly bounced apart, each one landing in the sea of trees, ripping a gigantic crevice through the lush woodlands in the process. Bastard, you are indeed quite capable. Lei Shi jerked his body, dispersing the remnant energy within. He raised his head towards the figure, who was not too far away, while his eyes were surging with amazement and seriousness. Given his current strength, ordinary Nirvana stage practitioners would not have lasted 10 rounds in a fight with him, yet Lin Dong had relied on his powerful mental energy alone to battle Lei Shi till this point. How could this not amaze him? Lin Dong deeply exhaled as devouring force spread out in his body and swiftly devoured the damaging force rampaging inside. He lowered his head and glanced at his devouring armor, noticing a few tiny cracks on it. His ability to face Lei Shi head-on was completely due to this devouring armor. Without it, Lin Dong's inner organs would have been crushed. After all, Lei Shi was indeed quite formidable. After the light rays bound Lin Dong, they began to flicker again. This time around, the light rays materialized into a huge glowing spear and blasted towards Lin Dong ruthlessly. It's over. Upon seeing Lin Dong being rendered immobile, Lei Shi muttered to himself while the corner of his mouth curled slightly. The glowing spear ripped through the sky and was accompanied by a palpitating energy wave. In a blink of an eye, it appeared 30 feet before Lin Dong. Due to the powerful shock wave from the glowing spear, Lin Dong's devouring armor began to tremble continuously. It must have sensed the deadly incoming attack. Lin Dong's eyes locked onto the glowing spear. Instead of containing fear, his eyes contained a tinge of cockiness. Then a black hole started to form and expand in front of his body with a lightning speed. The incoming glowing spear went straight into the black hole. Indistinctly, a frantic explosion could be heard from within the black hole. Eventually, the sound disappeared along with the black hole. The unforeseen event froze the smiles on Lei Shi and his counterparts' faces. Then, their facial expressions became increasingly cold. I have already said that I have waited a long time for all of you. Under the cold gazes from Lei Shi and his counterparts, Lin Dong raised his head and gave them an indifferent smile. Upon seeing Lin Dong's smile, for some reasons, Lei Shi's heart unexpectedly sank. After finishing his sentence, Lin Dong did not open his mouth anymore. His body trembled slightly, and the devouring power began to extend from it silently. The light rays that bound Lin Dong's body melted rapidly, as if they were snow that had encountered heat. No matter what tricks you have up your sleeves, do you really think that you alone can stop 2 Nirvana stage and 8 quasi-Nirvana stage practitioners' encirclement? Lei Shi yelled with a ghastly tone. This kind of formation was enough to kill any Nirvana stage practitioner. Even if Lin Dong possessed the bloody soul puppet and the status of Heaven's symbol master, he still would not be qualified to stop this formation. Lin Dong loosened his wrists and flashed a mocking smile at Lei Shi. Soon after, his eyes began to surge with strains of chilliness. Since you have come to hunt me down, you should have planned for the worst scenario. That is because you might lose your lives in the mission this time around, just by you alone. Chen Mu cackled nastily. Just me alone. Lin Dong nodded his head seriously. Soon after, his hand suddenly performed a hand seal. At the same time, in the stone talisman, the long-awaiting little Martin gave a weird chuckle, and its claws performed a hand seal that was similar to Lin Dong's. Boom. As Lin Dong and little Martin performed a similar hand seal at the same time, the lush woodlands suddenly began to waver. After a short moment, the lush woodlands was torn apart and a canopy of darkness shot up into the sky. Within a short period of time, the canopy formed a space of darkness and began to engulf the glowing web formation. The sudden change in situation changed the facial expressions of Lei Shi and his counterparts. As they continued looking at the space of darkness that was engulfing their glowing web, a wave of chilliness gushed through their minds. It seemed that the space of darkness could even destroy light, kill him. Lei Shi bellowed as he quickly returned to a state of calmness and his eyes ashened. No matter what tactics Lin Dong executed, as long as he was killed, all these weird happenings would cease to occur. Upon hearing Lei Shi's voice, Chen Mu and his counterparts returned to their sense. Immediately, their hand seals changed and the glowing web began to coagulate again. Numerous glowing spears were formed in the process. Maintain the formation. Lei Shi's eyes were flickering. Soon after, he clenched his teeth and palms, before a black-colored soft sword appeared in his hand. Then, he moved his body and flew towards Lin Dong. This time around, he had pushed the Yuan power in his body to its maximum. Clearly, he did not want to give Lin Dong any time to do something funny. This is my devouring world. There is nowhere to run. Even when he saw an incoming Lei Shi, who was accompanied by a terrifying outburst of energy, Lin Dong merely smiled. With a jolt of his body, Lin Dong oddly escaped from the glowing net and disappeared into the deep darkness. After Lei Shi saw Lin Dong disappeared, the former's face ashened immediately. He tried to look around in the extreme darkness, while the tinge of chilliness that was creeping in his mind was getting increasingly stronger. Senior Lei Shi, the Yuan power in our bodies are dissipating rapidly. This place is stealing our Yuan power. While Lei Shi was at a loss, those Devil Cliff Empire practitioners shouted out in fear. While these people were in shock, Lei Shi's face was twitching. That was because he knew that the Yuan power in his body was dissipating slowly as well. Apparently, this place of darkness was devouring the Yuan power in their bodies, goddammit. At this moment, even the cool-headed Lei Shi could not help but break out in rage. He then snarled, Lin Dong, come out and fight with me, you coward. I'm sorry. The way I do things is that I only care about the end results, rather than the process. Suddenly, a mocking voice came from the abyss of the darkness. Lei Shi's eyes hardened and hurled a brutal punch in the direction of the source of the voice. However, there was no response or reaction. Senior Lei Shi, the formation is about to break. A gush of fear swept across Chen Mu's eyes. He then looked at the slowly weakening glowing net. This was their only source of light now. How is it? This is one of the abilities of the devouring ancestral symbol, devouring world. As long as one is within it, his or her Yuan power and mental energy will be gradually devoured. You are the master of this space. As long as you can keep the battle in this place, the more you fight, the more ferocious you will become. On the other hand, your opponents will grow increasingly weaker till the point they are completely exhausted. Little Martin appeared on Lin Dong's shoulder and beamed while looking at the devouring world in front of them. Its words were said with a rather pleased tone, however, you are still too weak. If you were a little stronger, the devouring world would be even more terrifying. So much so that even someone like Lei Shi, who only has that bit of skill, will have his yuan power drained within seconds. Unlike now where we are currently so doggedly waiting. Furthermore, if you can master the devouring ancestral symbol in future, you will be able to devour not only yuan power and mental energy, but one's life force as well. Life force. Upon hearing these words, Lin Dong was finally a little moved. I once read in ancient texts about a practitioner who obtained the devouring ancestral symbol in the distant past. Once that practitioner activated the devouring world, he was able to sever the life of all living things within 1,000 miles with a single thought. Little Martin's eyes were filled with a little admiration. Clearly, even little Martin was envious of that kind of power. Does the devouring world have no weaknesses? Lin Dong could not help but ask. If there was no way to stop the devouring world once it was activated, it would really be too much of a cheat. In this world, there is nothing that is absolutely invincible. The devouring world might be powerful, but it has its limits too. I might not know about other weaknesses, but with the current way you have activated the devouring world, if you really want to kill those practitioners that have passed the Nirvana tribulation, there will be some difficulties. Little Martin replied while shaking its head. At this moment, Lin Dong then came to a sudden realization. He clearly understood how powerful those practitioners, who had passed through the Nirvana tribulation were. Naturally, he would not fantasize about killing such practitioners, of course, even though you can't trap to death Nirvana stage practitioners, who have passed the Nirvana tribulation like what you did to Lei Shi and his counterparts. Those practitioners still need to use an extremely huge amount of strength to break out of the devouring world. If you encounter such troublesome foes in future, as long as you activate the devouring world, making an escape won't be a problem. Lin Dong slowly nodded his head, slightly excited in his heart. This degree of power had already surpassed his expectations. He knew that there were definitely some Nirvana stage practitioners who had passed the Nirvana tribulation in the Devil Cliff Empire. Since he had completely offended them, he had to prepare more tricks to deal future troubles. It's about time. Lin Dong raised his head and looked at the devouring world before them. He could feel that the auras in the dark space were already extremely weak. With a smile, Lin Dong waved his hand as numerous ripples swept across the devouring world. The black light started to undulate before gradually fading. As the devouring world began to fade, the canopy of darkness that drove fear into one's heart started to dissipate rapidly. Soon after, numerous groans could be heard as 10 sorry figures fell from mid-air and weakly landing atop the sea of trees. At this moment, Lei Shi finally came to realize that their Devil Cliff Empire had encountered a serious foe this time around. Retreat. As Lei Shi saw Lin Dong's mocking and indifferent gaze, the former's hair stood on end. However, Lei Shi was still able to make a firm decision. Given the current situation, they were in no condition to fight Lin Dong. Even though there were many of them, their current fighting capabilities were less than 10% of their usual fighting form. Clearly, if they wanted to contend against Lin Dong now, it would akin to throwing an egg against a rock. Upon hearing Lei Shi's words, Chen Mu and his counterparts' facial expressions changed drastically. Soon after, they clenched their teeth and activated the last bit of yuan power in their bodies and flew away in every directions. Even at this moment, Lei Shi and his men were able to retreat in a calm and systematic way. This certainly shocked Lin Dong. Undoubtedly, the Devil Cliff Empire was indeed a high-rank empire. This kind of discipline far exceeded those mid-ranked and low-ranked empires. However, Lin Dong would not allow Lei Shi and his counterparts to escape after taking great pains to set up this trap. Right now, he needed Nirvana pills urgently, and these people were the big fishes. How could he let them off easily? I'm afraid it's a bit too late to run now. As Lin Dong saw those figures scattering in fear, he laughed. With a jolt of his mind, boundless mental energy gushed out and became 10 huge mental energy-formed hands which pounced on that 10 escaping figures. Bang bang bang. Action. Lei Shi and his counterparts were terrified when they saw the 10 incoming, huge mental energy-formed hands. They then mobilized the yuan power in their bodies and tried to carry out an attack. However, those huge hands were not even bothered by their weak attacks. Come back. With a swipe from Lin Dong's huge hands, those escaping figures were recaptured and thrown ruthlessly to the ground. The shock from that tremendous amount of force were able to make them spewed out blood violently. Lei Shi was the last one to be recaptured. Undeniably, this fellow was indeed capable. Even in this situation, Lin Dong had to exert much efforts to recapture him. Lei Shi took out a Qianquan bag from his shirt and threw it fiercely with his trembling hands. Upon seeing this, Chen Mu and his counterparts could only bear with their heartaches and took out their Qianquan bags as well. After Lin Dong took over the 10 Qianquan bags, he focused his mental energy on them. After a short while, an overjoyed look then appeared on his face. The total number of Nirvana pills in these 10 Qianquan bags amounted to approximately 300,000. This was considered a hefty reward to Lin Dong. Other than Nirvana pills, there were some valuable demonic crystals as well. Moreover, Lin Dong was able to find 3 Nirvana stage beasts demonic crystals in Lei Shi's Qianquan bag. The vigorous Nirvana chi from these demonic crystal was worth 10 to 20,000 Nirvana pills. Not bad. There are around 300,000 Nirvana pills. Without any trace of courtesy, Lin Dong kept these Nirvana pills into his own Qianquan bag. Then, he furrowed his eyebrows. He did not want to attack the Nirvana stage carelessly before preparing an abundant amount of Nirvana pills. His targeted amount of Nirvana pills was at least a few millions. It's not difficult to get more Nirvana pills. These fellows are actually living Nirvana pills. Just as Lin Dong was furrowing his brows, little Martin's voice rang across his mind. Nirvana stage practitioners are extremely important to any high-ranked empires. Some of these people are in quasi-Nirvana stage. In the future, they might have the chance to attain the Nirvana stage as well. If these people are killed, the Devil Cliff Empire will suffer a devastating blow. Therefore, I think that the Devil Cliff Empire will pay a large sum of Nirvana pills in exchange for these people's lives. Upon hearing little Martin's words, Lin Dong was startled momentarily. Following which, his mouth began to form into a shape of an arc, which in turn sent a gush of chilliness through Lei Shi and his counterparts' bodies. Lin Dong then muttered in a low voice, "Kidnapping and blackmailing seems to be an interesting business." This video will end here. Thank you for watching.